The light is near. Bring your question, leave your fear. With angel spirit signs and soul, the unseen world begins to glow. Loved ones, guides, and truth come through. Tonight the message may be for you. Ask the angel. Open your heart tonight. Ask the angel. Step into the light. Now welcoming Rachel Corpus, angel incarnate and psychic medium. This is Ask the Angel.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. So I was getting ready for the show and there was a knock at the door and this person was selling Girl Scout cookies. And I said, you look nothing like a Girl Scout, but and then he said, I was just needing just some company. So I said, well, you can come in and join the show. So there's a perfect stranger I just met 5 minutes ago.
That's right.
Actually, this is my husband, Edward.
Greetings, Earthlings.
That's a good way to welcome everyone to this particular show.
I have lots of cookies to sell.
Good. That's actually one of the greatest stories we have as a couple, is that one of our first trips we went on, I was hungry and you gave me peanut butter Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
And I ate the whole thing.
They were under the car seat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I have a whole box of unopened Girl Scout cookies under the car seat.
I knew I loved you.
Yeah.
Because you had food for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, we welcome you to this episode of Ask the Angel. And we get to talk about the movie Full Disclosure by Steven Spielberg.
Disclosure Day.
Why do we keep saying that? Was that a movie at one point?
I think that's just a statement, a phrase. Full disclosure. Something
full
people
disclosure.
say. In full disclosure.
I have to tell you, I keep calling it that. And it makes no sense. So Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, and screenwriter David, how do you say his name? Koepp?
Cool.
Koepp, I think it's Koepp. And then composer John Williams. And we just saw it with our kids last week.
Mm-hmm.
2 of our kids. What did you think of it?
Oh, right off, starting with me on this one.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the parking lot, I gave it a 4 out of 10. And this deeply wounded one of our sons who absolutely loved the film. But I had my reasons. I was bored during the film. 2, I didn't know who the intended audience was for this film, but I felt like it wasn't me. The performances in the movie are fantastic. I mean, this is probably some of Emily Blunt's best work, maybe even Oscar-worthy acting. So it's not a problem with the casting at all. You know, Colin Firth always, a good time there, right? Right. Don't swoon. All right. You know Paul Rudd. Okay. Yeah, but I found myself bored. If I think about something like Jurassic Park, where the characters in the movie, they're learning about something at the same time that the audience is, right? There's that scene where Sam Neill is looking out at the top of the Jeep and he sees the dinosaur walking across the field, and his glasses are crooked because he can't believe what he's seeing. Yeah. And he has to, his girlfriend at the time, who's also in the Jeep, he has to get her to look at the dinosaur too. And so they're seeing it for the first time. We're right there with them. So exciting. But to us, maybe because we're both spiritual people, we're both, into alien life form, extraterrestrials. I didn't feel like there was anything new and exciting in this film. And I just kind of was sitting there going, am I supposed to be excited about this? Or am I supposed to be learning something new right now?
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought going into it. I thought that there was going to be something, full disclosure. I thought there was going to be something that we were going to be told, but there would be something disclosed that we didn't know yet.
Yeah.
Or now I do want to speak to the audience, because I looked that up. I want to know who the demographic was. And I saw that 41% of ticket sales have so far gone to ages 45 and older. So those are people, our age, alive when E.T. was released, June 11th, 1982. And what I found interesting about that is one of the themes in this current movie, Disclosure Day, is that it looks like they wanted to portray the extraterrestrials as friendly,
Sure.
and that's what we got from Steven Spielberg in E.T. as well. So I did see that theme, and I was grateful for that, because I wondered when this first came out, I thought, okay, where are we going with this? Because there's such a heavy theme in our culture of, if it's different, it's bad. If it's outside of us, we should fear it. And that was something positive that I liked about the movie. But I'm with you completely on, I left and I thought, there wasn't anything new in there. But granted, this is our lifestyle. We're always asking for, okay, show me what's next, show me, expand that. We're spiritual, so
Yeah.
maybe that's just kind of our thing.
Yeah. I was afraid of you when I met you. I thought you were weird and different.
You too, but
Yeah.
that's why we're like, I asked some listeners to join us who have also seen the movie, so I want to expand the conversation. So I'm going to ask, let's see, today we have Lotus and Pam with us today to share in the conversation. So let's welcome them to the show. Welcome, you two. And I think maybe Pam just saw it today. Actually, she went to see it right before the show, so she's fresh in her emotions. So I want to ask Pam as soon as she gets in here. Pam, can you hear me yet? We'll give them a minute.
I mentioned to you the music too for this movie, because John Williams did the score.
Yeah.
And I think
Okay,
that,
there I
I
am.
mean,
There I
I
am.
love John
You see me?
Williams.
Oh, there I am.
Hi. You love John
I
Williams.
mean, who doesn't love John Williams, right? He's done the music for numerous dozens of Spielberg films, right?
Yeah.
Did the music for the first, Harry Potter film. I mean, he wrote the main themes for that. So, and they've continued to use that music throughout all of the Harry Potter films. But there was something that irked me about hearing little tiny motifs that I recognized from Harry Potter, or maybe it was just the instrumentation or the orchestration that he used, that I thought seemed really weird in this movie.
Dude, that's because you were a music professor. I don't think everybody else felt that way.
It was just another one of those things that made me dislike the movie a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But here's what I want to ask Pam, and thank you for sharing that. Pam, since you just saw it today, right?
I got home less than an hour ago from seeing it.
Okay, I want to know how you felt walking out of the theater. What were your first moments like?
Well, I've had some experiences with seeing UFOs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I felt validated, and I felt like, oh my God, everybody's got to see this movie.
See, some people felt, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It was definitely a Spielberg movie. Definitely. And I can see some things that were reminiscent from Close Encounters, because I saw it back when I was younger, and E.T. and things like that. But it was an incredible movie. Incredible.
Okay. So Lotus, thank you. Lotus, what's your take? Your first take on the movie?
So I saw this movie last Sunday, not yesterday Sunday, but the week before. And when I walked out of there, I felt a sense of relief that they didn't, at least from my perspective, that it wasn't a fear frequency being pushed through the film. And I really, as a QHHT practitioner, it was actually a lot of fun because there were a lot of visuals that showed up in the movie that I recognize as we step into the theta side of our minds. So a lot of practitioners loved the red bird, and it had so much more significance actually on the script for QHHT. And also, I felt a frequency that wasn't of fear coming from the film. I believe they probably install frequencies into movies and things at different scenes, and I felt a frequency of actual harmonization during certain parts where I may have expected the frequency of fear to come through.
So are you possibly saying that there is more disclosed in this movie that we might not have recognized watching it, that might be working with different brain waves we have, like the theta part of us that, or maybe even in our subconscious, like the red bird? I saw that as a spiritual symbol and I liked it. And I realized she was getting a light code from that bird or something. Like I got it. But I don't think I ever would have connected that to anything that I don't think I would have understood what you're saying there in the movie, that, okay, there's things happening here that my subconscious can connect to in an extraterrestrial visit capacity as an experiencer myself. I don't think I would have known that, Lotus, till you said it.
Yeah, I mean, most people wouldn't have noticed it, but I saw on some of the different QHHT Facebook pages, the groups, they're all talking about Disclosure Day, and they're like, "Yeah, the red bird. That's the first line in our script that we use, and it's see the red
Wow.
bird." And as we see the red bird, that switches us into a different frequency to be able to connect with what we don't normally see in our waking holographic reality that we exist in. So we're actually
Right.
shifting into that other frequency where we'll be able to see that which we didn't recognize it's always there, which they are among us. So from my experience, I was able to um, recognize quite a bit from different experiencers that I've held space for, as we go under hypnosis. And it was all aligned. It was really cool actually. So, and I was happy that it wasn't about fear.
Yeah. Same. Did anything in the movie, asking all of you, was your perspective changed or expanded about anything when you saw the movie? About yourself or about the world?
I don't know if my perception was changed, maybe expanded a little bit. My dad was an Air Force officer, and he always used to give a wink and a nod to the Roswell story because his first duty station was in Roswell, New Mexico. And he knew a lot of things that he just couldn't talk about. And he has since passed on, and he would be like, there's more than you know. There's more than you know. And I had an experience that was very similar to an image that Spielberg put in his movie in the late 90s. And I thought, whoa, this must happen to a lot more people than just I would have had happen to me. I felt quite validated. Like this
Did
is,
you?
yeah, I was like texting my daughter and I'm like, you have got to see this movie. And she's like, is it good for the kids? And I said, yes. And she lives in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, definitely, definitely. I said, it's intense, but it's just intense.
Yeah, so throughout the movie, they kept referencing that extraterrestrial life had been concealed for 79 years. That takes us back to Roswell. That's 1947. So I was asking Spirit about that and, what else was going on in 1947. And one of the significant things is that the discovery of one of the first Dead Sea Scrolls, which also tells us some things about magical extraterrestrial stuff that's not in the Bible that we currently have. So, that wasn't in this movie, but there's several things that happened in 1947 that are really amazing, that are around the same time of the first known crash or cover up of Roswell. And I thought that of extraterrestrial visits, and I thought that was really interesting. So it's also the end of the Cold War, and the US begins supporting Western Europe. There's a lot of stuff that was happening. Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier. And I thought that was really interesting because what I wondered about this movie, I wondered if we would be shown the helpers from the galaxy like if we would get some sense of who's here around us and how they're going to like change the trajectory of history for us again or with us again. And I didn't really get a sense of that in the movie. I didn't, but it's almost like it was like the ending of it, listen, like something, they're preparing us for something more. And this is another like 1947 moment where we're having a breaking into something new. Just like it was then, you know, they're referencing what happened in the past and it was covered up, but now it's getting all opened up again. And with like 3i Atlas last year and all of that beginning, this just seems like there's more to come. And my feeling about the movie was, I definitely need to watch it again because I'm sure there's a lot I missed, but I thought this has just got to be a preface or a chapter one of a much bigger story, because I just thought there wasn't
Well, like
much in
one
it.
of the dates that they mentioned was in 1965, which was,
Yeah.
you know, right at
Nixon.
the height of the civil rights
Yeah.
movement. And
Mm-hmm.
they pointed out different times when there was a lot of stress in humanity.
Yeah.
And eventually you know, there's no, eventually it smoothed itself out, not completely, because obviously we're back where we started from again right
Right.
now,
Again,
but
history repeats.
it does. And if we don't listen, if we don't learn from those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. If we don't
Right.
listen to what was happening then, we're going to run into it again.
Right.
Curious about themes of religion in this movie. I didn't think there was much chemistry per se, romantic chemistry between the Josh O'Connor and Eve Houston characters. I feel like she was kind of there to sort of represent Christianity, or in the case of the movie, Catholicism specifically. And I feel like the movie kind of underestimated Christianity's ability to be empathetic to extraterrestrials, or
Even their part, like the Catholic and extraterrestrial connection, because like they chose the monastery of, they called it's the St. Clair Monastery. And I was like, that's really familiar. Why would they choose St. Clair? And I looked into it, and St. Clair, if you look, it's like 1240. St. Clair is the one, she's the nun that got so sick that she couldn't attend Christmas Eve Mass, and she prayed that she could go somehow. So she was like so feverish that she had a hallucination or a visit, but she was also in prison, and I don't remember why, but in her prison cell, the whole Christmas Eve Mass was projected on her cell wall. So they call her the patron saint of television, but she's the one in 1240 that had the first like hologram projection. I mean, that's kind of significant, right? I mean, that feels very extraterrestrial. And I mean, they use St. Clair Monastery. And then I was like, okay, that's weird. I wonder if it was on purpose. And why didn't they go further into it? That's what I'm saying. Like, they could have gone further into it, because there's so many like channeled books in Catholicism. There's so much extraterrestrial stuff, but it's all in the books that haven't been revealed yet, like Mary's book, Mary Magdalene's book.
The Gnostic Gospels.
Yeah. The
Well,
Essenes, which is in the scrolls. The book of the Essenes is in the 1947 scrolls.
not myself, but my extended family on my paternal side are all very devout Catholic. And one of the things that I realized growing up was they were always praying to intercessionaries. And
Yeah.
you know, not really directly to God themselves. It was this saint or that saint, or, you know, the Holy Mother. It was never to the big one. You know, it's like they didn't have the privilege to be able to have a direct connection. They had to go through an intercessionary. And that's always not fit for me. And when the young woman grabbed, I can't remember, Margaret's hand and got down on her knees to kiss her hand, I thought, oh, and then I loved how she just grabbed her hand back and said, no, that's not how we're going to do this. This is not this is not what this is. So it's sort of pointed to how perhaps in the past, individuals who have visited, now we don't necessarily know they look like the extraterrestrials in the movie. They could have been more humanoid, visited, and they could be perceived as gods, perceived as deities, because they have higher technology, which could be, mind-boggling back in, the early, back in the dark ages when we're basically crawling out of the mud and just learning how to exist as a cohesive society, and we're building a hierarchy within ourselves. And this happened a lot in the European countries, as they evolved and developed their society. So that struck me. And the other thing that struck me too is, and I've always thought this too, the missing link. When they look for individuals with blue eyes, we're all linked to the same individual genetically. A single person who had this genetic mutation. Where did that mutation come from? Maybe it was inserted in our society, into our planet from a visitor.
Right.
If you look back at all the legends, the myths of
Had to come from somewhere.
right. My first introduction to beyond Christianity was when I was I think I was in 7th grade, and I found a book of Greek myths. And the gods were always seeking a human, an earth person to have a child with of some kind, and then the Norse gods with Odin and his hierarchy, and then you have the Celtic pantheon. Some of those stories, there's a thread that weaves through all of them, and you wonder, could that have been a visitor?
Yes, of course. Well, and then those Greek gods turn into the religious god.
Yes. And Roman gods and Greek gods, they're basically the same, they just have different names.
Yeah. And then there's a version of the Bible that says the North Star that was above when Jesus was born was actually there for months.
Yep.
Right. And and it was a craft. I mean, there's so many things out there that is. Okay, here's my next question. And Lotus, I want you to lead it. If you could imagine, or maybe you can feel in your heart what's true, if the extraterrestrials, do you think they helped with this movie? If they did, what do you think they contributed? What did they want us to learn from it?
So I definitely believe that the extraterrestrials are and have been working with us for quite a long time. This whole time, really, they've always been here. It's just we're unaware of it. Um, and I do think that they put frequencies in this movie and they worked with it, especially coming from Steven Spielberg, in my opinion, has created a lot of different content, a lot of different movies, and I was kind of expecting it to go a different way, but it went more in this more peaceful way, which from my experience, that is the extraterrestrial way.
Uh-huh.
It is peaceful. It is a way that people can connect um, without being terrified. And it starts with our disclosure via what we watch on our programming, our TV and our movies and things like that. So I do believe that they're showing us this is how it can be. And this is how the side that has been trying to keep the secrets can surrender and allow the information and the truth just to come out because it's always been here. So I do think it was sharing a timeline, a potential timeline, and I feel like if people see that, they'll be more relaxed in allowing it to happen when it does happen.
Love that perspective.
I'm a bit of a Trekkie, and I always put a sign on my desk at work on first contact day. Because I'm hoping that we will have, may not be, you know, that far off, but I'm always hoping it'll happen. That it'll be out there, because I've always believed mathematically, we can't be the only beings that exist in the infinite universe. And it's pretty damn egotistical to think that we would be the only beings in the vast universe.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you two for joining and expanding this conversation. I appreciate it. Whew. And
It's
I
definitely a
feel,
must-see movie. I may go back and see it again.
yeah, I can't wait to see it again. And I can feel the extraterrestrials starting to join in the conversation. So I'm going to say goodbye to you two, and we're going to start channeling Sarai. So
Thank
thank
Okay.
you. Bless you
Bye-bye.
both. Have a great evening.
Bye.
So everyone, what we get to do next is I've been in my life as one of those people who grew up or was born clicked in already, I guess you could say. I've been talking to extraterrestrials my whole life. And one of those groups that I've talked to calls themselves Sarai. And they feel like a feminine group of extraterrestrials. And when I have seen them in their energy form, they're actually pink and purple. And they are, if I could help you describe kind of the structure of what they look like when they're in physical form, they have larger heads. They have beautiful almond-shaped eyes that are kind of navy blue or black, smallish mouths, and then just kind of two openings for a nose. And when they speak to me, it's telepathic. And when I channel them, they work through my thoughts, and sometimes they will speak in my skull cap area, meaning I don't hear it in the room or in my mind, but just kind of right below my ear. Almost if you're wearing a hearing aid, it would be right behind here. And so what we get to do now is Ed has a list of questions that he's going to ask me, and I'm going to channel Sarai. I'm not going into a trance. I'm going into a different brainwave. And what that brainwave allows me to do is simply put my ego, which I call my thinking mind, and the part of me that protects me and keeps me safe, and that Rachel part of me, that brainwave allows me to put my ego aside. So all I'm doing is I'm energetically or vibrationally connecting to Sarai. So just the way I explained Sarai to you a second ago, I feel that as an emotion. I feel them as an emotion. And I start to smell what they smell like. I feel their colors. Sometimes I can taste their colors. I'll start to hear them as music. Sometimes I can feel when they're standing behind me or above me. So I start to feel their vibration like a living song. And then when I get into that, I'm not feeling myself anymore. So you might notice that my eyes will wander. You might notice I look down. My voice might change. You might also notice that when some of my vibration comes in, my words might stutter. And you'll notice I'll go back into their true vibration, and you'll see me reset a little bit. So I've asked Ed to ask me the questions, and I don't know if we've ever done this before together. Have we?
I think we may have actually for the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done exorcisms and stuff together.
Yep.
But I didn't remember if we channeled together. I'm nervous to do this with you. You make me nervous. Don't be my husband for a second. Just be my friend.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just my friend.
Just your friend.
Just your friend. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because I'm
What's
going
up?
to complain about my husband.
What's up, homie? Oh, okay.
Did you hear my joke?
Yeah, I did.
It's not funny. I don't think I'll ever really be a comedian like you. Ready, Freddie?
Yeah.
Did you bring the questions?
I did.
Okay. Let me just kind of get Sarai in here. So one of the things what's that? It's from my computer. I'll look at it later. I will repeat Sarai over and over as because I can feel them kind of like right outside the window. I don't know what they're doing out there. Probably looking at my new solar lights. So, there we go. I think I'm ready.
Well, first question is, what, if anything, did this movie get right?
We say hello and thank you for taking time to speak with us and speak through us. We are so grateful to be here. We wish to say that this movie represented our level of caring for our brothers and sisters of Earth. We wish to say that the way the story was told really represents how we feel about our Earth family. We find them to be ready to know the true story of how we come to Earth and how sometimes we have been welcomed, yes, and have collaborated, yes, but that story has not been told. The story that has been told and has been quite corrupted, we believe, is the story that we have been hurt and our bodies have been dismantled and frozen. And that story needs to come out because it is not fully true. We have been sometimes hurt by humans, yes, because we know that is the human growth pattern, but there is much more to the story to be told. And so the first form of this story is that we wanted people to know we are kind and we are never here to hurt. And we wanted to share the story with the story writers that says this has been done positively and negatively by both sides. You see, we too have made mistakes, and we wanted the audience to understand that the history of the extraterrestrial nations and the United States has been full of mistakes and rejoicing. We feel that both were shown adequately. And
Was there a particular character in this movie that you felt came closest to the truth?
we feel that the experiencers, and Rachel speaking, this would be, it would be Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor. They're showing me the two faces going in. We feel the experiencers were portrayed quite effectively. We are on one side of the experience, pulling people in human form to our ships, our planets, to study them, to talk with them, to take samples from them. And we are aware that it is part of the human body, human brain, to not remember these things, and also part of our protocol to memory wipe. We wish in the future to have these collaborations peaceful and to have them remembered. Because that does not happen at this time. In the history of the visits, sometimes abductions, true, the experiencers do not remember their full history. In our opinion, and Sarai looks back and forth to the rest of the group, in our opinion, the experiencers portrayed exactly what experiencers experience. They used a different word there, but I don't know what it is, so I filled it in. And it is our opinion that one of the actors is a true experiencer.
What important information do you think was left out of the film?
If one of our writers was pulled in, we would wish to add but there are experiencers. They're showing me an image of a city block, and that on the city block, there are less people that have not experienced. The majority of people are experiencers. And I'm just speaking in my voice because they're showing me a graphic. And then the speaker from Sarai comes in and says, we would add to the story that once the two characters have woken up, it would create a waking up for all.
What do extraterrestrials wish humans understood about contact?
We wish to tell you that when you are contacted, it is an agreement that you have been a part of. When you are in spirit form, we ask you if you are willing to work with us. And if you say no, we do not approach you. And when you are here in your form, if you are afraid of us, that is also non-consent, and we do not approach you. When you are contacted, your personal gifts, talents, they are exposed in a way that will bring you closer to your personal truth. We do this gently. Sometimes it is imperceivable, so that you can grow to a degree that is gentle and on your timetable. This is to help you grow closer to your source of light and love, your true creator. This is for you and for the universal content of all. And
Why do you think that humans are so fascinated with aliens?
there's another speaker coming in, younger. We think because they are part of us, there are so many hybrids that they are waking up to remember that they are not separate from us, and that they have similar DNA, combined DNA, and that when they remember they are part of us, they remember that they are also home. They are part of us, really part of us, and that they have home in us. And the extraterrestrial went, home in us. And four fingers, home in us. And
What would surprise humanity most if disclosure happened tomorrow?
okay, they're showing me kind of a slideshow in the hologram. They're showing me that there are many different types of ships that are in our atmosphere that are not necessarily hiding, but their vibration is different. So if we were shown disclosure tomorrow, then we would see all those ships. Our sky would look different. And then they're showing me that when we look down at our hands, we would be able to see through them. We would realize we were vibration. And that knowing we were vibration would be, they're saying it would be, he says, a passport. You would be your own passport. You would be free. You could go into any ship. This ship is another dimension. This ship is a restaurant. This ship is it's everywhere. you are thinking that this ship will help, this ship is going to destroy, this ship is this type of being. These are dimensions. And when you are the full disclosure of what is happening to you, the fullness of the disclosure, see again, fullness of the disclosure is that you will realize you are all a vibration and can go anywhere that you match, anywhere that you match. Then they're showing me how it will happen. Okay, there's an elder coming in, and this elder actually is a gray, not Sarai. There's a gray coming in. And this gray actually looks like the being that was at the end of the movie. And this gray is saying, this earth is very proof-based. And the way this disclosure will happen is there will be a certain amount of people who will do this first and be able to prove it, but it will be in person. It won't be televised. It can't be televised. It can't be on the internet. There's too much AI and faking. People will be able to reach this level of vibration in their own communities. And then he says, for example, someone just walking to their car, getting out of the grocery store they're using the word glitch, and then come back and say, I just saw the most wonderful thing. And then the next person will say, oh my gosh, I think I can do it too. And then it'll spread like wildfire. It will happen that way. And it will be undeniable that it is a good thing, because there will be seeing it's a good thing, and there's nothing connected to an Apple Watch or a phone that's doing it. It has a different feeling to it, the gray is saying. And then the gray is taking us back to the question you asked about something about the movie. What would you add to the plot or something? He says he would put more in about the stone that they were, because he says there are more elements like that on the earth, and those things will wake up crystals that we have on the earth, and those will help us travel and bring in like how to use time differently, things like that.
So a lot of proof by experience.
Proof by experience, yeah. Right.
So I guess in relation to the production team on this movie, do we know if any technical advisors of the extraterrestrial type were contacted for this movie? Or do you think this was all just human created?
Indeed, we were contacted. Yes, we were. We speak to you from the Andromedan realm. Yes, indeed. We are speaking from a council of several. Rachel, we allow you to see us. Looking at a table of Andromedan, Pleiadian, Gray, Draconian Reptilian, Nordic, Mantis, Andromedan, Lyran, Lemurian. Okay, so yes, there was a council in place, and here is my question for all of you. Who knew to do this? Who knew to call you in? How did this happen? Do you care if I ask that question? I mean, how would... They're saying there are reptilians in human form in Hollywood. And they know who they are. They have not forgotten their origin. And they're smiling about that. They're not smiling like fiendishly. They're smiling like that. Sometimes this works because they can call in help. And then my question for you, dear ones, is how was the information relayed? Through channeling. We channeled.
Can they name names?
Can you name names? David. David. No, he's the screenwriter. Let's just loves because I have my ego and I always think I got it wrong or I made it up. I'm going to use my dowsing rods. Are you saying that you all channeled through the screenwriter? Yes. Are you saying that he is a hybrid? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now the gray, just curious, the gray that's talking to me, are you the gray that visited me a couple years ago? Okay, very good. Thank you. And may I ask another question? The being that was portrayed at the end of the movie, do you find that portrayal to be accurate? I'm hearing yeses all across the board. Yes. Was the footage of the bodies, was that real? No, but it looked real to you. Okay. Was that hard to see? No, we don't think that way. They said, we don't think that way. We are not attached to our bodies. Our souls are not in our bodies like yours, they just said. Our souls are not in our bodies. But we have feelings. We have feelings. That is why we wish to be with you, because we are learning how to emote, how to feel. And we want to learn how you keep your souls in your bodies. That's one of the things we are learning from you. How to keep your souls, how do you keep your souls in your bodies?
Where are their souls?
Where are your souls? Some of them are saying that they don't describe themselves with souls. They describe themselves as digital beings or vibrational beings. That's coming from the reptilian. I don't know what that means. The others are saying that their souls are almost like on a tether. They can go in and out on a tether. And I also don't really understand that, but they said that we're the ones that our soul stays in our form the whole time. And that confuses them. They don't know how that happens. Even when we are dreaming, we stay in our like there's we're with ourselves, they said. And they find that to be something that is really unique to us and very desirable. So that's why they study us, they said. That's why they study us, and why there is an agreement from the 1954, they said, of studying humans, and they get something from us as well, from the governments.
So from a religious perspective, Christianity in particular, as this movie, relates to that, we think of the soul or spirit. I think those might be two different things, but we think of soul and spirit as being our connection to God or a higher source. Do the extraterrestrials then also have a higher being that they pray to or think created them? Do they have a God of sorts?
We do. We consider belonging to what Rachel will refer to as source. I'm now talking to an Andromedan. We belong collectively to an energy creator source. I'm asking, Rachel speaking here, I'm asking if they have any books like the Bible or the Quran or anything like similar to that in their culture? The answer is, can I may have an answer verbally, please? No. As Andromedans, no. We are parallel to that. And we mean that when we are travelers to the earth realm, an example, when we are in helper form in Egypt, we will maintain part of that belief system if we believe that it is part of freedom, if it is part of source, we will bring it back. We have it here, but we do not maintain any kind of system that will, and then showed me a bird cage, keep us. We are expanded. We are committed to, and then another look side to side to all the other people, all the other beings at that long table. We are committed to honoring the history and hierarchy of the different planets and what they have instilled. And when they said instilled, a whole bunch of things came up, like their Bibles, their floods, all the things that had happened on their planets. So when I get a summary actually from one of the archangels came in, it's like the Andromedans don't have their own, but if they have gone to another planet to advise or help, like build the pyramids and there's hieroglyphs or something, if they as a culture of Andromedans really respect it and they find it to not be limiting in any way, when they go back to their planet, they'll like take some of it with them and say, okay, well, this becomes part of our culture now because we were there and we loved it. And then maybe they'll take something from helping on Pleiades or something like that. So they have little bits of things that feel like theirs, but they said, if you were to take all that away, when we were first created, we didn't have any of our own. We just belonged to source, but we've got little bits here and there that we've collected as we've helped. And I'm seeing kind of across the board, Pleiadians are saying the same thing, but they all belong to source. And they're saying source is energy to them. And then I asked everybody, do you all see source the same way? And they're saying, we don't know. We've never been asked that before. If I had more time, I would have them. Actually, I will have you do that. Could one of you put a projection above you? What does source look like? I'm just going to see how it's similar. So I'm just, everybody is putting like a energy signature above them. And I would say the difference I see is that they are different colors, but they're all showing me moving energy. And because I'm in human form, I can't really feel it, but I can imagine it's loving. And then I'm having a Pleiadian say the feeling of source is different for every type of extraterrestrial, because not every extraterrestrial culture feels the same way. They're not all feeling like us. But I saw the color signature.
So it's something like the Aurora Borealis. Like,
that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
so it sounds like they don't subscribe to dogma
Correct.
per se, but are there still, they did mention hierarchy. So I'm wondering if there are still rules that they abide by.
Yeah, there's a galactic council for sure. For sure.
And now here's maybe just a lighter question. Which alien species is most likely to leave a 1-star review?
Oh, I love that
Disclosure
question.
Day.
What extraterrestrial species? You don't like it when I say alien, that's funny. What extraterrestrial species, which one of you is most likely to leave a 1-star review? And I don't mean that because your personality, but I mean, are you asking because of their personality or because of the quality of the movie?
Well, both.
Okay, let's go because your personality first.
When you watch the movie, you must have an opinion of it.
Well, because personality, I'm hearing from the reptilians because there's a lot of exposure of the listen, you guys, when I say this, don't mess with my internet connection. I mean it. There were a lot of characters in there that wearing like they were in their human form and they were wearing suits and stuff, but they were reptilian. And so these reptilians are saying that it made them mad that some of those people were portrayed as weak or benign. I'm hearing the word benign because like we're not like that. We're strong. And also they're also not evil. They just know their job. Think of a lion as a lion. When a lion's hungry, a lion's a predator. Reptilians are predators. And they also know how to take human form. They're in every career possible on this earth. And there were a lot of them that were portrayed in this movie. As a medium, I could see some of the actors were even reptilians, but
Was this the Colin Firth character, perhaps?
yes. Actually, let me ask. Was the Colin Firth character reptilian? Yes. Good example of that. Someone who is just there to do his job. And you could see, I mean, he's just doing his best. He's just doing his best. And at some point, he just knows his limits. So I'm hearing from the reptilians that they didn't like all of that. And then they're also saying something about how their cover's getting blown all over the place. And then this movie didn't help that.
Well, speaking of that brings me to my next question. So, is humanity actually ready for Disclosure Day, and what does that even mean? What does it mean to be ready from your perspective?
From their perspective?
From their perspective, yeah.
Want some? You want a juice box? I'm just kidding. Well, I'm hearing from this group of grays who are short, and that doesn't always mean they're young, but I want to ask them if they are young. They are young. They consider us ready when we will not answer with violence. And when we will keep our promises. I know what they're referring to there, Ed, because I've heard from the extraterrestrials all my life that they have often helped with technology. Think about, I wrote it down earlier, it's like, think about lasers, infrared technology, anything that we have that seems like, gosh, where did we get that? It's them. They've offered that. And then the many times, think about nuclear. Did I say it right? Nuclear, I did it right. Nuclear power, that comes from them. And at some point it was turned into a weapon. And I say that with vulnerability, but they told me that when I was little. I didn't even know what that stuff was. So at some point they came here and offered it, and it was accepted for peace, but then it was turned into something else.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the other things they say is that when we are truly ready, the agreements that they make will not be taken advantage of. And then also, we need to also trust them that everybody there is going to, do their thing. So, and be kind to us. My recommendation is go see it. Go see it. Because, I mean, it's fun to go to the movies.
Movies are great.
Yeah, and they employ a lot of people and they're magic. Just go.
It's not about the movie. It's about going to the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, go eat the popcorn. And also, extraterrestrials walk among us, and there's more to come. And the final scene said, listen. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, well, I don't know what we're listening for, but we will. That's something we got to do better anyway. So, loves, hey, thank you for helping me, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're the best. You can find me at rachelcorpus.com, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. And you can also check my podcast, Angel Talk, just about to start the new season. Hey, listen, you're so very loved. There's more on this universe than we ever imagined. We're learning every day, right? Hey, keep that halo straight.
Hard, breathe deep, let the light come in. No perfect questions, no polished disguise, just real people talking to the other side. I ask the angel, come on, ask away. Ghost guides, pets, and past lives, all on the show today. Ask the angel, nothing's too bizarre. Your soul's got questions and we've got stars. She'll bring the love, she'll bring the zing, she'll bring the truth with a little swing. Ask the angel, turn the volume high, heaven just walked in with a twinkle in its eye.